YouTube. So it's been a while since we chatted. I know I've been kind of MIA here, and I wanted to post about rescue dogs and what we can do to help ease their transition into being in lives with us. So if we adopt them from a shelter or whatever other way, directly from another family, that sort of thing. Oh, Zuki doo. So this is Zuki. I've had her for 8 years. She's been in my life and I've been in hers, and I'm falling in love with her recently after a very long period of grief from my dog Peanut, who you would know from other places in this channel and from Bean. So I wanted to give a couple tips. If you're on my Instagram, you may have heard these tips already, but I don't have the things memorized, so you might hear them in a different way. It might be still worth hearing. So when we adopt a dog, we are becoming their attachment figure, one of their attachment figures if we do it right. And attachment figures, the way that we tend to hear about it is secure attachment and that sort of thing. But actually what we want is adaptive attachment, which is a more global way of thinking of things, which is actually then more applicable cross species. So adaptive attachment, the whole point of it is to three things, right? Why we have an attachment system, an emotional system that bonds us to others. And so basically one of the functions is psychobiological regulation. So this co-regulation of the nervous system. There we go. She's brave again. So being a person that your dog can come to for safety, regulating your own nervous system, super helpful. Here I'm giving Zuki a chance to explore because I love doing that. All that bat work that I've been doing over the years is not in a formal way so much with Zuki anymore, as just this really informal way of being in life. And I loved giving dogs a chance to explore. So anyway, this regulation is one piece. And so learning those skills for ourselves and doing things like the glimmer, which I talk about in my stop pulling class, and maybe I have or will talk about that here in the YouTube. And yeah, so it's Shelter Dog Month, so that's why I'm focusing on Zuki right now. And we have a class coming up, a webinar with Tom Candy on Wednesday. And if you're seeing this after the fact, don't worry, we have it recorded. So anyway, so skills for how to bring home a shelter dog. And so I'll give you the other two pieces here, which is, so one is the psychobiological regulation, right? So nervous system, the mind, all the things. The other point of attachment, having an attachment system, is to be integrated into community. And so that means that you are the connection point. The community knows this dog through you. And so make sure that that's not just the human community, but it's also the dog community. And I'm gonna go through here. It's also the dog community and the other biology of the planet, right? So introducing your dog specifically in safe ways so that they know your dog and your dog knows them. So learning those skills, we cover a lot of that all of that really in the academy, and here in the YouTube has a lot of it. And then the third piece is relational skills. So understanding what kinds of ways, like what are the norms of the community in which you live that will help them accept this dog into their lives. And that means the human community as well as the dog community. And so those skills, that's often the part that we focus on in dog training. But those other two pieces are just as important. And those skills are often taught by other dogs as well. So that's part of the introducing them in safe ways to other dogs. And these skills come from, right, these really chances to be in safe interactions. Also means gently setting boundaries, gently but firmly. And that means setting up situations in which the dogs will do what you want and reinforcing that with attention or treats or permission to do something. And so all of that can be done with positive reinforcement in a way that protects the bond and gets them into a space of optimism. If dogs are trained with positive reinforcement, if humans, any mammal, has a life that is mostly positive reinforcement, and that occasionally life itself has some sort of punishers, not the training type of punishment, but just like, things that don't work out, then we get optimism. And optimism is really good for community. It's really good for when dogs meet other dogs, that sort of thing. So, and learning is really important for dogs. So teaching them how to learn, how to be creative, how to explore. And we don't necessarily have to teach them how to so much as not crush it out of them, because they are natural learners, right? We all are. And so whenever you're working with a dog, you might find that you want to resort to punishment, whether that's in the form of bringing something that's like icky to them or painful, or punishment in the terms of taking away their stuff. So whenever you think about, oh, I have to apply punishment here, it's like, actually, how can you set up a scenario in which the dog would learn that in a more positive way, more generative and experiential way? Whoops. Hey, Zuki, she's deaf, so I'm just gonna crouch down here and get her attention. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. And if you like this content, let me know. Also, if you have a rescue dog and you have tips, go ahead and share those in the comments, and make sure that we're here to generate better connection with dogs and with humans. Let's be kind to each other. And if you have something that contradicts what I say, I would like you to consider maybe where that comes from. Is it from a place of, this is the way it's always been done, or I don't believe that this works, right? I've been training dogs for 20 years, working with dogs, living with dogs, trained probably over 100,000 dogs have benefited from BAT by this point, maybe more. And punishment is not necessary in the form of using aversives, using pain or pressure. And so my question for you is, can you be curious and consider something else and try it out? So, because we can create this relationship with our dogs that's built on trust, that also has a tendency to heal our older wounds. So I'd like you to consider that we often train our inner children in the ways that we train our dogs, and vice versa. And so by learning new ways to be with our dogs, we have new ways to be with ourselves. So that's it. Love you all. Bye-bye.